Well, good evening and thank you for joining us on this Friday night. I'm Heidi Alaga. Pat has the night off. Well, today was the last day for early voting in Pima County, but there are still plenty of voters that plan to head to the polls come Election Day next week. 9 on your side's Perla Shaheen tells us more about the voting process from start to finish.
Early voters dropped off their ballots Friday, many preferring to skip the lines on Tuesday.
I was able to fill out my ballot calmly in my home with my Googling apps.
Not being familiar with, everything, I just wanted to get it out of the way in case I, made a mistake somewhere.
Voting on Election Day can be intimidating, so Pima County has taken a few measures to make voters feel comfortable at the polls. There's a 75-foot limit around every voter site, so only voters and staff can go past this point. There's also an inspector and marshal at each site to enforce the rules.
They're just going to be aware of their surroundings, making sure they keep everything under control, keeping those ballots safe.
Once you submit your ballot at a vote center, it'll go into a locked gray box. Supervised poll workers will bring that box to the elections office to verify the signatures on each ballot. Then they'll take the ballots into nearby rooms where they're checked for errors and fixed.
Individuals who may spoil their ballot somehow, or they mark two offices and they mark one out, so they're determining the intent of the voter and creating a new ballot that can run through the scanner.
Ballots are finally brought here to the tabulation room. Pima County residents can watch this whole process online.
We still have the cameras that run 24/7, so anybody can watch these rooms as we're processing.
On Election Day, voting centers are open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. The first results are released at around 8 p.m. Perla Shaheen, KGUN 9 on your side.
Perla, thank you. Securing the southern border has been a hot topic in this midterm election. Republican candidates are addressing the work they say still needs to be done. 9 on your side's Reina Preciado went to Cochise County today to hear Republican candidate for governor Kari Lake's plan to secure the border.
I'm here along the U.S.-Mexico border. Republican governor candidate Kari Lake is making this her main focus in her campaign. She's teamed up with other Republican candidates to fight what they're calling an invasion.
We don't want people like that in our country.
Border security and drugs. Republican candidates show their support for Kari Lake's plan to address these issues in Arizona.
We recognize the importance of solving this problem.
And I will do everything possible from my perch in the federal Senate to help you and you guys get business done at the state level.
Sheriffs from Cochise and Pinal County stood behind them in the discussion, just as Pima and Santa Cruz County sheriffs have done for Lake's opponent, Katie Hobbs, in her campaign.
44% of all my people in my jail right now are border-related crimes. Tell me that's not a negative impact both on the state and my county.
I've had a 200% increase in traffic stops involving humans being trafficked into this country, oftentimes into slavery.
And Lake blames the border for fentanyl-related deaths. In 2021, the CBP reports U.S. border agents seized 11,000 pounds of fentanyl. Karen and Clark Griffin also showed their support for Lake's aggressive plan. Their son Tyler died from fentanyl overdose.
I keep hearing overdose. This is not overdose. Most of these children and young adults have no idea they're taking a pill that is not only laced with fentanyl, now it's just pure fentanyl.
The conversation was continued along the U.S.-Mexico border.
We want to stop the cartels and the drugs and the smugglers from pouring across our border, and we will build that wall. We will build the wall, and they're going to have to stop us from building the wall.
Kari Lake says her first step as governor would be to use this material behind me to close the border. On the border, Reina Preciado, KGUN 9 on your side.
The Pima County Democratic Party held a news conference today hoping to motivate people to head to the polls. Just some of the speakers included candidate for Arizona's 6th Congressional District, Kirsten Engel, Congressman Raul Grijalva, and Mayor Regina Romero. Leaders push for the public to let their voices be heard and to trust the election process despite what they describe as recent attacks on Arizona's voting system.
We all know that our systems are safe, secure, and accurate, and we want to make sure that their voices are heard. So participate this election. We have seen that our communities, especially here in Pima County, are coming out in great numbers. We are meeting the numbers of the last midterm election, and we want to make sure that we surpass those numbers, because the more that we participate in our democracy, the healthier our democracy.
It's about their own health.
Today was the last day for early voting. If you plan to vote in person this election day but have since learned you won't be able to, Pima County will hold emergency voting tomorrow and Monday at various locations. We've got all that information posted at KGUN9.com.